Warning: the Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to Bowman Gray Stadium as we are here at this venue for the second time for the Duracell Cup Series Clash. We are going to get ready here tonight for the exhibition race for Season 6 of the Duracell Cup Series, but before we can have our official main event, we've got a couple of spots still left to fill in the official lineup. And that's where the drivers will take the track here tonight for our qualifying heats as well as the LCQ, the last chance qualifier. Here tonight, we're going to be seeing all the drivers that haven't yet locked themselves into the field, but up here in the booth, we've got a couple of drivers that have locked themselves into the field for the clash later on tonight. Happy to welcome Ali Liera and Nick Gunther into the booth. And Ali, I'm going to start with you because, I mean, here this evening, you're going to not only be a commentator, but also have a chance to kind of observe what the next-gen car, the new car coming here into the Duracell Cup Series, what it can do at this short track. Obviously, these drivers here, they've had a little bit more track time than you guys that are going to be taking part in the clash, so going to be taking some notes here tonight, I assume.
I mean, yeah, we're going to be taking notes to help get a feel for everything. But hey, it's good to be up here with you and Nick as well. I mean, new year, new attitude, a whole new experience. Got to enjoy it.
Nick, obviously no points on the line here tonight in the upcoming clash later this evening, but certainly there's a lot of pride that's on the line, but we have to not lose sight as well. Bowman Gray, it's a very tricky short track.
Absolutely, it really is. I'm no stranger to Victory Lane here at Bowman Gray Stadium. This place is what is known as the Madhouse. There is nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. This place is all about the bump and run. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere for any escape whatsoever. Pretty soon, like it's really 20 short laps here tonight. I mean, we could potentially even have like lap traffic as of like soon as like 5-10 laps. I mean, this track is so small. I mean, you really can't really go anywhere essentially.
It's going to be very interesting to see if track position is going to be key here tonight. Kind of touched on that back during when these drivers were basically setting up which heat they were going to be in during our Clash Open qualifying yesterday. And we'll see. Obviously here tonight, we knew the pole sitters coming into this one. We're going to see Benjamin Miles be the pole sitter for heat number 1. As you're seeing on the right side of your screen, the drivers that are in this first heat. All these heats were determined based off of the finishing positions in the qualifying session last night. Ryan Brommer going to be starting on the outside of the front row, and I believe these drivers are now getting ready to roll off of the grid. As you mentioned, Nick, 20 laps, not a whole lot of time to be able to make something happen, but at the same time, one would have to assume that with it being a smaller field, maybe the drivers starting back there, 5th, 6th, 7th, they still have a shot because it's the top 2 in each one of these heats that transfer into the clash.
I mean, absolutely, but it's just going to be a really tough battle. I mean, Bowman Gray is kind of more of a track position track than you may think because it's only one groove. It's basically one of those typical short tracks, and as we just take the green flag.
Green flag's in the air as they head into turn number 1. We do have cautions that can fly here tonight if necessary, as Ryan Brommer there in the 87 already got into the wall. I mean, these next-gen cars, we've talked about it here, they're so tough, but it's steel railings here, Ali. I mean, just how badly does a hit to that steel guardrail affect the car for the remainder of the run?
I mean, if you hit the steel guide rail, there's like you said, there's no safer barriers. It's going to be one hit to it. It'll kick you backwards in a hurry.
Benjamin Miles going to take the early advantage. Obviously, the pole sitter had that good starting track position. Ooh, Richard Johnson did have second, but he got the wall, so that moves the 88 of Jack Dunnard into second place. So Northeast Motorsports, for the time being, they're both in the transfer spots. How tough's it got to be for a rookie? See a number of drivers running the rookie stripes this season to come into a year where not only the competition is new, but the car is new. Does it make it easier since everybody kind of has to have a period of adjustment to get used to the next-gen car, or does it make it more difficult?
Well, the car is brand new. I mean, we have all these new composite bodies now that we have used in Xfinity Series, and hopefully this makes the car more durable so we can actually have some more of these bump and runs that are so clean, because with those Gen 6 cars, basically if you just tap anything, even if you tap a pigeon on the quarter panel of your car, your car is done. Your car is done for the day.
Nick Gunther with the pigeon reference here in a Duracell race. How about that?
No, that's a throwback and a half. And I was going to say, too, though, I mean, everybody's on equal playing ground. It's a new car. Even the veterans have little to no experience with the car, too. I mean, everyone's leveled out to be on a playing field, and yeah, everything's going to be looking pretty interesting here.
Saw right there the Budweiser Chevrolet of Jack Dunnard pull up to the back bumper of his teammate as if he wanted to make a pass for the lead. Now under normal circumstances in a qualifying race, if you've got teammates lined up in transfer spots, you're probably not going to race each other. You're going to try and hold those spots so both of you are going to be locked into the upcoming clash. But I'm almost wondering if maybe he was putting the pressure on the 25, because that 26 of Daniel Voiles, who started this race from dead last, was starting to close in, and that's a transfer spot right there, second place under contest.
I mean, he is a rocket ship out there, coming from the very far back and just all the way up to the front. I mean, he's going to probably be very aggressive to knock one of those two Chevrolets out of the way. Just hopefully get to that last transfer spot.
Miles has led every lap so far. Halfway through this first of our 4 qualifying heats here tonight. Then we've got the last chance qualifier. You know, it's also interesting when you look at that 26 of Daniel Voiles. Obviously, he would love to get up there and finish second place, transfer into the clash. But the finishing results from third place on back in each one of these respective heats is going to determine where you start in that LCQ with, oh, man, that's a big hit there with the right side for Daniel Voiles there in the turn 4 wall. But for Daniel Voiles, if he can hold this third position, which doesn't look like that's the case as he gets the wall again, but you know,
for the lead too.
If you finish in the oh yeah, how about that? Dunnard just got around Miles. I don't even know how that happened. So move the 88 to the lead and the 25 back to the final transfer spot. But now with Ryan Brommer moving up to third, he would be the pole sitter for the upcoming LCQ if he holds that spot. But as of right now, nobody's holding any positions. They're all losing spots.
It's like they're having a hard time with the car setup. I think they made the car just a little bit too tight off these corners, and it just makes them keep slamming into the outside wall, because we keep seeing the 93 keep hitting the outside wall. We just saw another one hit the outside wall. It's just everyone's just probably make the car like plowing tight. Maybe they need to adjust the wedge.
Well, I mean, you talked about the fact not being a stranger to Bowman Gray here, Nick. I mean, you know as well as anybody, you mess up a corner, people don't take into account that right front tire heat builds up a ton if you slide the brakes or slide the tires, and it doesn't get better. You can't cool that tire down. It only gets worse.
No. You basically have to try to take care of that tire as best as you can, but it's kind of hard to do so when you have so many different other people breathing down your neck. You just basically have no choice but to drive so aggressively. So basically, it's just a durability test on your tires.
Battle for third, maybe?
How well you manage that rubber as well, I meant to say as well.
Third place battle possibly going on here. Ryan Brommer, I mean, this guy, he's kind of been hot potatoing the last couple of seasons. 2 seasons ago, he was in a Dodge for Bulldog Motorsports. Last season, he was in a Chevrolet for Pigeon Racing, and now over with Auto Junction Racing in a Toyota. So having to get used to different manufacturers here. As you saw, the white flag was in the air. Looks like Northeast Motorsports, they're going to have both of their Chevrolets in this heat transfer into the clash, and Jack Dunnard going to get his first checkered flag of his career here tonight in a heat.
A wondrous feat from the 88 and the 25. Both of those guys making it to the transfer spot. It wasn't easy getting those spots, what's for sure. And we basically just have to see, as for the others, hopefully get a good run for the LCQ.
Looks like
You got that right.
Looks like the standings should be official. So here's a look at how they finished out the first heat. Dunnard and Miles, they'll be transferring into the Clash, which, by the way, that's all based off of random draw in starting positions, so either one of these guys might be on the pole position later on this evening. Ryan Brommer, he'll be starting on the pole for the upcoming LCQ, finishing second of the non-transferees. Richard Johnson, that means he will, I believe, start fourth for the LCQ, and then Voiles, Reese Banks, and looks like Rob Evans may have had to come to pit road for a couple of laps to get repairs done, finished 3 laps down, but all 5 of those drivers from the 87 down to the 65, they're going to transfer into the LCQ for one final shot of making it into the Clash. Don't go anywhere, folks. We've still got more Clash qualifying coming up here. Heat 2 waiting in the wings, and we'll be bringing that right after this commercial break. We welcome you back here to Bowman Gray Stadium, preparing now for our second of 2 heats. Jesse Turner, by benefit of being the second fastest in the qualifying session last night, is the pole sitter here for heat number 2. You see there right side of your screen the 6 drivers participating in this one, including, surprisingly enough, the defending Daytona 500 winner, Matt Haas. I mean, there's a lot of big names, including both of you that are going to be in the Clash later on tonight, but a lot of big names. I mean, Jesse Turner, that are not locked into the Clash, having to rely on these heat races or maybe the LCQ later tonight to get into the big show.
The world of racing, it can be a bit unforgiving, and if you don't meet those certain qualifications that you need to get to the Clash, then you're probably not going to be able to be a part of it this season.
You're very right on that.
We saw teammates out of Northeast Motorsports get the top 2 positions in the last heat. Got teammates here, 1-2 out of Lake Effect Autosport. Jesse Turner leading rookie Benjamin Snyder, but he's got another rookie on his back bumper. That's Quentin Moore in the 89.
I mean, Quentin does have experience in other offline leagues, but he is a Duracell Cup Series rookie this year.
Behind him is Matt Moss. I mean, being a Daytona 500 winner.
Nick, fail count 1. You mean Matt Haas?
Yeah, that's what I meant to say, Matt Haas. I'm so sorry.
That's my favorite team, Stuart Moss Racing.
It's my own fault. I know I'm a rookie mistake anyway.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I went through I watched back last night's broadcast of the qualifying session for tonight's heats, and I don't know why, but the 88 that we ended up seeing win that heat just moments ago, I keep calling him Jack Durand rather than Jack Dunnard. I get the N and the R mixed up in his name, and I'm not sure why.
Just like how many people used to say that my name was Gwenther as my last name, not or Gunther actually. I mean, both of them are kind of accurate, but they're not exactly
Gunther's right. That's more kind of like what they would have said in Germany, but Gwenther, I don't know.
Yeah, they just say Gwenther because it's spelled like that, I guess.
I think one thing I'm noticing here in these heat races, you don't want to start second. Because we saw Ryan Brommer, he fell to the back very early on in the first heat after being on the outside of the front row. Granted, he worked his way back up to third, but William Hoer was on the outside of the front row, and you can see he's running 6th out of the 6 cars right now.
I wonder if there might be a little bit of a problem with that car. I mean, he was having a hard time just getting up to the speed, and then he just fell all the way back, and he just unable to get back up to those spots up there.
I mean, the inside line's where you want to be there. I mean, the outside hardly has any grip up there.
I mean,
it's
yeah,
it's a single groove.
I mean, I get that. That's why I said at the top of the show. It's just now that, I mean, there's so many people that just passed him like on the like inside. Of course, I know that's in a single groove, but
And there's the wall for
there's
Quentin.
a couple people in the wall. I mean, what I meant to really say was...
Oh,
like,
Snyder's in the wall. Here's the pass for the transfer spot. Matt Haas is going to get him in 3 and 4.
All it takes is that one mistake, and it'll cost you. He's going to hit the wall again, it looks like there.
Yeah.
Last season, Toyota was vastly outnumbered, though they really held their own. They ended up having, I think it was only 4 full-time rides. Obviously, we had the 3 drivers per ride, so they had 12 drivers, but just only 4 entries each week in the field. Not much different this season. You've got 3 entries out of Auto Junction Racing, and then you got the Toyotas out of Haas Racing. We're going to see the second of them later on here in the upcoming third heat. Noah Hendrickson going to be the pole sitter, but Toyota last season ended up having, if I recall correctly, a total of 5 victories amongst 4 different drivers. So do you think we'll see a renaissance of Toyota here again this season, despite the fact they don't have the numbers game?
I can see something like that happening. I mean, it's going to be a tough battle being vastly outnumbered, especially on the super speedways. I mean, you're going to really need to pick and choose who you're going to work with, whether it be the Fords or the Chevrolets at those types of tracks.
You talked about the possibility of lap traffic coming into play, and we really didn't see either Miles or Dunnard, when they had the lead in the first heat, pull away from the rest of the field. That's completely the opposite here for Jesse Turner. I mean, he is gone right now. That's about, 15, 20 car lengths here over second place Matt Haas. So he's got, 4 laps, 3 coming to the line to work with. I don't think he'll catch traffic, but this might have been the closest that we would have come to the leader catching the tail end of the field.
You got that right. I mean, Jesse Turner's off into another zip code.
Definitely later, if we were to go to the Clash, I mean, for sure, we're going to be seeing some lap traffic definitely during that. And somebody at some point, where somebody's going to use the chrome horn.
It would not surprise me in the slightest.
17 drivers locked into the Clash later on tonight. That, of course, will be airing at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the white flag is displayed for Jesse Turner. We are going to have a total of, I believe, 28 drivers for a full field for the upcoming Clash. Now, one thing, I'm going to touch on this a little bit later on here in the upcoming third heat, is Turner takes the checkered flag. He'll transfer into the Clash along with Matt Haas, but Turner started on the pole. Matt Haas started last. So with the smaller field, it doesn't seem like track position is as optimal. I think when we get 28 cars on the track later on this evening, track position may be a little bit more prevalent.
Oh, it will be more prevalent, for sure. I mean, this track, I mean, with 6 cars, it's actually not that bad. But when you have at least quadruple the amount, it's really compact. I mean, if we ever seen the Bowman Gray race in K&N, how chaotic that was.
Dominant performance here in this heat by Jesse Turner. Matt Haas works his way from one of the slowest in qualifying last night to a transfer spot in second. Quentin Moore looks like he'll be the outside of the front row for the LCQ. Cole Deaver, Benjamin Snyder, and William Howard, they'll all have to transfer into that upcoming LCQ as well. We've only determined 4 of the 11 drivers that are going to make their way into the final spots for the Clash. We've got heat number 3 coming up right after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Stay here on NNSCRA TV. Field getting ready to roll off the grid for qualifying heat number 3. Noah Hendrickson, as we mentioned, was going to be the pole sitter, being third in qualifying last night. He'll be alongside of Mitchell Collins. You see the rest of the drivers there, right side of your screen, that are taking part in this one. We're waiting for that Toyota Camry pace car to turn them loose for another 20 laps of racing. Already 2 heats have taken place. Some rubber's been laid down on the racetrack. I gotta wonder how that's going to affect the handling of these cars taking part in the later heats.
It would most likely just make that inside line more problem, as the 33 just hit the wall there already.
Didn't take long there for Mitchell Collins. Already going to drop back to 4th, maybe 5th, probably to the tail end of the field. As you pointed out, Al, you get stuck on that outside line, you get freight trained all the way to the back.
Yeah, you get drop kicked as Osborne now hits it too. Okay then.
It just seems like that outside line is just like very, very slick. So there's not a whole lot of people that just lay rubber down on that area.
Reggie Fogelman runs wide there. Oh, may have just brushed the wall off of turn 2. That moves Batson into the 3rd spot. Destin Bolin has now moved into the runner-up position, so you've got a couple of rookie stripes in the top 2 transfer spots at this point in time. I mean, it's definitely a rhythm track, Bowman Gray is, but is there any consistency in how you can approach this racetrack lap after lap, especially if you get into a long run, or is it one of those type of short tracks where it's unpredictable, where it would stick one lap, it doesn't stick the following lap?
I think it's more the consistent, like, sort of rhythm thing, but the problem is you can only do it for so long without, well, I'm pretty sure this is a bad example because there's only 6 cars, but, like, eventually you're gonna approach, like, traffic, whether it be behind you or in front of you, so having that rhythm, it would probably be broken at some point because of all the other cars just basically around you. It just gives you claustrophobia.
You got a valid point, and you know what's gonna throw me off guard? Seeing Noah Henderson in the Krispy Kreme car instead of Charles Belden in the Krispy Kreme car.
You know, I had that same problem during the preseason Thunder testing. Kept wanting to say it was Belding, and unfortunately Belding not in the field here this season. But yeah, that's going to take some getting used to. Keith Batson now going to move into that 2nd spot. One of 3 drivers here that has veteran experience in this heat. Batson, the 39, Joshua Osborne, the 27, and Mitchell Collins in the 33. In terms of an exhibition race, just how much does veteran experience come into play?
I would say like a good amount of experience is kind of necessary for a veteran, because you just need to have that mindset where, okay, yeah, we're not in the show yet. We just have to make sure we are able to take care of that car and make sure we're able to, in case we don't make it to the actual main event, just make sure we're able to at least make it stable enough for the LCQ anyway. It's just a real endurance test of this one long night.
Of course, that main event that Nick's talking about, that's coming up later on tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, of course, next week, all these drivers, we go from the teeny tiny short track of Bowman Gray to the 2.5-mile super speedway of Daytona, getting ready for the season to kick off with the 6th annual running of the Great American Race. We got pole day qualifying, we got the Blame Shelley Insurance duels, a lot of stuff in preparing for that race. So you kind of have to take your mindset out of short track racing and get ready for some drafting at a super speedway.
Let's go away.
I see what you did there.
I do too. Batson's closing in. Got a little tight there off of 4, but he was starting to really close on Noah Hendrickson. And Reggie Fogelman's starting to close on Batson, at least in the last 2 heats we've had. It's been a kind of a runaway for 1st and 2nd place, but this might be a close battle with 5 laps to go.
It's one thing to catch a car, but it's another thing to pass them.
You definitely got a valid point, and I see what you did there. Again.
Well, the drivers that made their way into the Clash via the lock-in were drivers that had a pole last season or previous winners of the Clash, whether it was here at Bowman Gray or in the precursor Clashes at Daytona. But for Reggie Fogelman, who did get the wall there, I was going to mention, if he got up here, he's a driver that won last season but didn't have a pole. There's a couple of drivers that actually fit that criteria of having been to victory lane last season, but they didn't get the pole position, and that's the only way you lock yourself into these clashes at the beginning of the season.
That's why it's usually called the pole shootout.
Yes, it is. And I was noticing before Bowman hit the wall too. Wasn't he doing a little bit of a diamond effect to the corner though?
A little bit, yeah. Drove it in deep, let it kind of ride up, and arced it off the exit. White flag in the air. We still got another heat and an LCQ coming up here, so plenty of time for Noah Hendrickson to enjoy some Krispy Kreme donuts before he climbs back behind the wheel for the Clash main event later on tonight, as he's going to take the checkers. Keith Batson right behind him. He's also going to transfer into the Clash.
Would it be a box of original glazed or whatever Hendrickson approves of?
Well, I mean, I guess that's personal preference. If it's me, I'm taking the original glazed.
Same here. You definitely got that right.
Heat number 3 in the books. 2 more transferees into the main event. Destin Boland going to be the first one on the outside looking in, so he will be starting on the inside of row number 2 for the upcoming LCQ. Osborne, Reggie Fogelman, and Mitchell Collins will also have to rely on the last chance qualifier race. We got one more heat coming up here to figure out who's going to not have to rely on that LCQ. And we're going to get to that in just a few moments. We'll be right back after another commercial break. Keep it here at Bowman Gray on SRA TV. Final heat race of the night here at Bowman Gray. As pace car did a little something there in the backstray, they had to get on the brakes, but getting ready here to see the list of the drivers that are going to take part in this final heat event. Dylan Young, by virtue of being the 4th fastest in qualifying, the pole sitter, and we were looking at this and chuckling before they took the green flag. A couple of drivers here that have some history with each other, a couple of teammates. It's going to be fun to see if they get nose to tail.
It would be fun, indeed.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well,
Speaking
that's
of
a
the-
fantastic start to that statement.
Yeah!
I mean, Fitzwater's got that Foster's beer sponsorship. I wonder if he might be a little tipsy. I mean, he might have thought turn 2 was a little wider than it was.
I mean, short track racing on a Friday night. I mean, yeah, of course, everyone wants to have a little bit of happy hour before the main event.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Essentially, yeah.
Well, technically, it is 5 o'clock somewhere if you're on the East Coast.
Laura Chung in that 77. That car went to victory lane twice last season with Roberto Crown Jr. It's actually been to victory lane a number of times in the past couple of seasons of Duracell with a rookie, as Chung's going to get the wall there. But Chung's got the rookie stripes, but it doesn't mean that she doesn't have Duracell experience. Back in Season 4, when we had the whole charter, non-charter races, Laura Chung ended up qualifying into a number of those events and had a top 5 run. I think it was a podium finish at Poconos. So she definitely got experience here in the series, but hasn't made enough number of starts to qualify being outside of the rookie class.
You got a point, and yeah, she does have that experience, and she has run really, really well before. It would be interesting to see how she does this year.
Fitzwater got the wall. Turn 2, lap 1, and just like
And
that,
he's
what,
second.
like 6 laps later, he's up to 2nd?
Definitely because of some of the others that made mistakes. I mean, the 77 hit the wall pretty good, and then the 66 just completely capitalized on that opportunity.
It wouldn't surprise me if Wild, certain someone, screamed in Fitzwater's ear to fix the mistakes
Oh,
or something.
77 hits the wall again.
Yeah, you
You can see the battle scars there on the right side of that purple Yahoo Toyota Camry, as you got Fords in 3rd and 4th. Samuel Ryder, one of the entries out of KB Racing Enterprises this season. RJ Bishop there in the 98. Now he's got his hands full for that 4th position. Almost kind of similar to what we saw in the last heat, where the leader, or actually that was Heat 2, where the leader pulled away. That was then Jesse Turner. Dylan Young's kind of doing the same thing. At the same time, going back to your point, Nick, with a lot of the drivers making mistakes and Dylan Young not making a mistake, that's got to add to it, but it certainly looks like he's got a strong car nonetheless.
Oh yeah, that's an absolute rocket ship there of the Underbird. Oh, sorry, not the Underbird. The Ford Mustang there of that number 2 machine. I mean, he was lightning quick. I mean, definitely, I think the car feels a little bit more freer. I could see that thing rotating a little bit better than some of the others.
The Underbird. I almost feel like I want...
You could call it the Understain.
Oh, no.
I almost want the Fords to be an Underbird, have Benjamin Miles in it. For people that don't know, when we had our Bristol trip, Benjamin Miles took on the moniker the Overtaker. I want him to drive a Ford. I want to have the Overtaker in the Underbird.
Yes.
Yes, that would be great.
I want that to be a thing now. I don't think that would ever happen. Benjamin Miles has been a mainstay in a Chevrolet Camaro here in Duracell Cup Series for his career, but, man, that's just in the back of my mind nagging me now. I want that to be a thing.
Tell you what, though, if that was his wrestler name, the Overtaker, that would literally be his wrestling name, the Overtaker.
Absolutely.
It really would. Agreed, 110%.
I mean, Zachary Fitzwater, you talked about this, Ali. He's got a great career in a number of other series. We've seen him in a number of series here on the NNSCRA TV, but has never, up to this point, taken part full-time in a Duracell Cup Series race. Ran for your team in that, I believe it was the 12 last season, but only made 13 starts. So that didn't meet the 15 start criteria. So it'll be interesting to see what Zachary's able to do in his first full-time season.
I mean, you got a point, like you were saying, that he only had the 13 starts, but he's no surprise to other offline leagues and especially stuff that used to be a part of this channel too. So it would be very interesting to see what he can do. The Aussie from Down Under.
It's interesting, if you look at the drivers right now that are in line in this heat to transfer in and those that have already transferred, you had 2 Chevrolets back in Heat 1, you had a Ford and a Toyota in Heat 2, you had a Toyota and a Ford in Heat 3, and now a Ford and potentially a Chevrolet here in Heat 4. Very democratic, almost even Steven for the manufacturers transferring into the main event race.
I agree with that statement. And it looks like Qual, that 70 car, was really starting to reel those guys back down. If they had more time, then 70 car would have tried to make something happen, but make that between that 63 and 66. As Zachary Fitzwater will take the second spot, second transfer spot, I should say, of the main event.
So Dylan Young, Zachary Fitzwater, they're already locked in now. They can rest easy, not have to rely on that LCQ. Samuel Ryder, who comes up just short. That would have him slotted 4th for the upcoming LCQ race with Qualls. And that good run there at the end, he'll be 8th on the LCQ grid. So we'll see if that long run speed can continue on. Bishop and Chung going to finish out the rest of the field. They'll have to rely on the LCQ as well. The LCQ, to your point there, Nick, though, is going to be a little bit longer, so maybe an opportunity for some of these drivers that ran out of time in the closing stages of these heat races, an opportunity to be able to work their way up to the front of the field a little bit more methodically, take their time a little bit more, and we're going to be bringing you that LCQ in just a few moments. 8 drivers have locked themselves into the clash. 3 more drivers still remain. Who will they be? We'll find out in just a minute after our final commercial break, and then we'll be back here for LCQ racing at Bowman Gray. Getting ready to finally find out who the 3 remaining drivers will be that will race their way into tonight's main event for the Season 6 Duracell Cup Series Clash at Bowman Gray. You see the lineup of the drivers that didn't transfer in the 4 previous heats. Brommer and Moore, by benefit of finishing third in heats 1 and 2, they are the front row. And 40 laps here in this LCQ. Nick, you were talking about it. More opportunity for chaos now with a bigger field and more laps.
Oh, absolutely. I'm waiting for it to happen. And we can already see it happening here in turn 1. Watch out, guys. We see another car already hitting the wall. It's 89. We have some more cars that are hitting the wall right there.
3 wide back here. Sam Ryder in the middle. Osborne makes his way by for the 4th position as they're stacked up just outside of the top 5.
Now it's going to be the battle of attrition and absolute chaos as the 63 into the wall. Oh boy.
Top 3 will transfer from this LCQ. Right now, Ryan Brommer's pulled away. You've got Rick Johnson in 2nd. Osborne has moved up to 3rd as they continue to knock down that wall over there in turn 2. Look at this 3 wide through 3 and 4. Hello.
Hold on to it now.
I cannot believe that stuck.
Rob Evans made it stick, and he got by both Mitchell Collins and Destin Bowl, and that moved him from 9th up to 7th. And now, oh, into the side of Reese Banks. Push is coming to shove, guys. Wow.
People are starting. They know it's time. They gotta go. They gotta go. They have 40 laps. 40 laps is not really a long time here at this track. But everyone has to be pushing and shoving everyone out of the way. And hopefully, God, they don't get back to you later. So you might as well just get the shove out of the way now and just pray to God they don't get back to you.
You talked about it.
Somebody light a rocket in the 65 or something?
I'm not sure. Definitely motivated as Rob Evans now up to 5th. And you talked about the possibility of lap traffic, Nick. I mean, we haven't had a caution yet. We've seen a lot of sheet metal exchanged, but with the leaders pulling away the way they are and all the stack up we had in the mid-pack area, I think this is definitely precursing to the main event later on tonight where we're going to see lap traffic come into play.
For sure, Seth, for sure.
Daniel
I mean,
Voiles.
87 is just completely checked out from everyone else right now. I mean, 93 car is really trying to get back up there, but it's just so hard to catch up to a leader when he has like all that clean air.
William Hoer gonna move by Reese Banks. That was for 5th place. Oh, now the 65 into the wall back there. So, yeah, a couple of drivers who would actually work their way up towards the front after they got into the wall, starting to drop back. The 65 is 1, and the 27 was up in a transfer spot not too long ago and has now dropped back outside of the top 5. Ooh, had a car hard in the wall there.
Speaking of lap traffic, here they come.
Yep. That's only about, what, 5 car lengths from Ryan Brommer to the back bumper of Benjamin Snyder and Joshua Osborne, not that far behind, and this has got to be putting a smile on the face of Rick Johnson and Daniel Voiles, because if Brommer has trouble getting around these cars, they're going to reel him in quick.
And there's still a long way to go in this race. I mean, they could reel him up really quickly if this 87 car not able to get around us this lap traffic.
Again, as mentioned too, there's the possibility a caution could come out, so these drivers at the tail end of the field, they're going to fight. They're going to try and keep that leader behind them because they don't want to get trapped a lap down. That's essentially their opportunity of moving on to the main event later on tonight, basically gone. Oh, look at that, leader's going to get into the 27 of Osborne, who was into the wall.
Wasn't that 27 car up in like 3rd or 4th place earlier?
He was.
At one point, yes.
Like what? Like I wonder if there's something like majorly wrong with that car. I mean, you can see a huge gash on the right side of the car.
Right front too.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he hit that wall really, really hard. I mean, I get it. These walls are really hard, like not really that safe, but I don't remember these walls being scheduled for demolition anytime soon. Anyway.
Oh no, Nick, I see what you did there.
Might have knocked out the toe there, affecting the steering on that 27 as, ooh, gosh. Oh, man.
I'd be careful if I were you, 87.
Man. Playing with fire is Yeah, I think that 74 is in big trouble. Oh, we got a caution. Caution's out. The 12 just got spun on the back straightaway, apparently, there. And I'm
That's gonna
almost wondering, did he make contact with the race leader in the 87?
Well,
You guys have better eyesight than I do. I could not see the caution where that came out from.
I saw the flagman there on the back straightaway throwing the red flag out, so that's how I knew the caution was out.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
here.
Couldn't see the front straightaway, so these drivers here are going to go around the pace car, get back on the lead lap. It's the 87 who's going to pick up the pace car. Let's take a look here and see what happened to the 12, who is going to remain a lap down since he was behind the 87 when the caution came out. And, oh no, this was a battle for around 14th, it looks like, between Boland and Evans.
Looks like the 12 just hits the outside wall, and the 65 just tries to avoid him, and the 12 just goes.
Nowhere to go. Yeah.
Got
Or
hard on
if
the
it
brakes
comes up-
there. And of course, when a car comes to a stop with oncoming traffic, officials have no choice but to throw the caution. He did get it going not too long after, but that could have been pretty good impact coming off of the corner if they hadn't thrown the yellow.
It was definitely the right call to throw the yellow there. I mean, I
Agreed.
mean, if anyone else were to plow into them, that'd be not only his day, but other people's days that are basically unnecessarily end. We can't have that here with the 24 laps to go.
This is on board with the 12. Guess the thing refired, but not before he got put a lap down, and so he, along with a couple of other drivers, are going to be -1, which means, if I'm not mistaken, I think we're going to have a inside line here with the lap cars.
You would be correct.
Oh, that's an issue then, because all the leaders have been starting on the inside and they would have no problems, but now we have the leaders are starting on the outside. Usually all of them have hit the wall so far in each one of these heats, so I'm actually kind of worried about that 87 going to be hitting the outside wall, which he does not, which is really nice, as we got the 12 car back on the lead lap.
And the 27.
And the 27.
That was a good job there by Ryan Brommer, allowing those drivers that had the inside line advantage to get past him, then make his way. Oh, this might be a caution. The back straightaway is filled up.
There they go.
Rick Johnson and Benjamin Snyder got together there, and they're almost 4 wide, excuse
Oh
me.
my gosh.
Were they 4 wide? They looked like it.
They were for just a split second. Oh
What?
my gosh.
This is Bowman Gray. You can't fit him 4 wide.
Even
That-
this
hold
parallel
on.
universe.
I got one thing to say to that. It can't work, but it did. What?
I believe
It
Destin
shouldn't.
Boland got back on the lead lap with that caution. Osborne, I think, had just gotten lapped prior to that yellow flag flying, so he did not maintain his spot on the
I
lead
don't
lap.
know if you noticed too, but I saw Deaver going down pit road.
We'll see if maybe he got a piece of this incident. Maybe that's why he came to pit road. Let's take a look. Oh, Collins definitely got a shot there in the 33. No, Deaver avoided. So I'm not certain why he came to pit road. But my goodness, that four
That
wide,
four wide.
I still can't believe that.
Neither can I.
It shouldn't work in this track. I mean, it's too small. How on earth is 4 wide even possible here?
I
mean,
don't know.
I don't know either. Everybody's breaking the rules of physics.
It'll be in a short track. Pacing laps are short. Saw the lights go out atop the Toyota Camry pace car, so we are 1 to green. Gonna have
Not
a few
whole
cars.
lot of time left in this race, so people got to start making some moves if they want to get into the big show.
And remember, top 3 are the only ones that transfer in this LCQ right now. Ryan Brommer, Reese Banks, and William Hoer hold those positions. You mentioned, Dally, about Cole Deaver coming down pit road. He has returned to the track. He is still on the lead lap, so still good to go for that Wheaties Chevrolet as 13 laps remain in this LCQ. Oh, brush the wall
there
did.
it is.
Yep.
There's the 87. It hits the wall right there.
And that puts the Domino's Ford Mustang of Reese Banks out in front.
I think this might be the first lead change of the entirety of the day so far.
You would be correct.
Yeah, for the LCQ, but remember there are 2.
Oh, the 87's boarding the wall.
And it's gone from bad to worse, and we're gonna go 4 wide again! Qualls, Chung, Hoer, and Johnson! What?
Oh, no, they all hit the wall. The 93s hit the wall.
Caution's out. Caution's out as the 93 came to a stop. He almost got stuck into the wall there, did Rick Johnson.
Yeah. How?
Osborne's back in the lead. You know, guys, as I said, you're up here observing. You're seeing these guys go into the corner 4 wide. How anxious are you to climb behind these cars later on tonight?
Let's go!
Oh my
I'd
gosh.
be more like hide my kids and hide my wife. Like, I wouldn't go for it there.
I had my beer in about now.
Well, that first 4 wide we saw coming back to the last caution, it was kind of borderline 4 wide. This was, honest to God, no
Like,
way you
what
can
is
dispute
this?
4 wide. Look at this thing.
I mean, this is how desperate people can get trying to get to that last spot.
I guess so. I mean,
holy moly.
Rick Johnson took a heck of a shot. Oh, so did William Hoer, because there's actually an angle of that wall coming off pit road that they hit, almost kind of like a 45-degree angle, and they both clobbered it pretty good.
It jets out there.
Look at the damage there on that Amoco Ford Mustang.
Yeah,
So
even
that
the hood's buckled up too.
So that effectively, I would assume, would take both of those drivers out of the running. And William Hoer, who was the first one to clobber that wall, was in the 3rd position when we had that last restart. And I believe when we go back green, yeah, it's going to be with less than 10 to go. So now, the double file restart chaos we saw with the lap machines, that's gone. Now it will be single file, which means that Reese Banks has a lap machine of Benjamin Snyder between himself and 2nd place Mitchell Collins. And unfortunately, it looks like Rick Johnson has brought his car to pit road, and it looks like he is done for the night. So the 93 will not be transferring into the clash later on this evening.
That's a real shame. He was really strong all night long. It's just, unfortunately, he got all caught up in that whole exchange as we're just going to be heading back under green.
Now the 44 and the 74 are teammates, so Snyder might try and throw some blocks here and keep 2nd place on back at bay, allowing teammate Reese Banks to maybe win this LCQ, but Sam Ryder says, no, sir, I'm getting by ya.
Oh, here he comes.
Ryan Brommer is now back up to 3rd in that 87. He's back into a transfer spot.
And the 74 hits the wall again, and we had some more cars hitting the wall back there.
Snyder now getting bypassed by Laura Chung, Mitchell Collins, Destin Boland, as you right there's your top 3, the 44, the 63, and the 87. All in transfer position should they finish there. Will we finish this race under green is the question. 3 to go, but there's still double wide, almost 3 wide back there mid-pack, and Ryder really overdrove the corner.
You can't choke under pressure now. You know you're in the transfer spot. You really don't want to go for that win here if you really don't need to. All you have to do is just transfer yourself in. That's all you got to do.
Domino's, Twix, McDonald's, top 3. Man, I'm hungry now.
I'm hungry for a Twix McFlurry. How about you?
A Twix McFlurry. Yeah, that would make sense. White flag in the air for Reese Banks. Rookie entry out of Lake Effect Autosport. We saw his teammate transfer in as Ryder got the wall again. Chung's going to take the 3rd spot here on the final lap.
That mistake's going to cost him, as that 77 car is going to come off turn number 4. He's going to finish in 3rd place and makes the final transfer spot.
You mean she's going to finish in 3rd?
You get the point.
Laura Chung saying Yahoo right now. Yes, I made that pun. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Reese Banks, Ryan Brommer, and Laura Chung all transfer their way in. And here's the interesting thing with this LCQ. 2 of the 3 finishers, the Toyotas out of Auto Junction Racing, guess which team is the only team to have won a previous clash here at Bowman Gray? Auto Junction Racing with Ryan Butcher, who we'll see later on tonight in the clash field. So the top 3, Ford, Toyota, they're going to be transferring in. Banks, Brommer, and Chung. What a tough final couple of laps for Samuel Ryder, who is in 2nd and then fell to 4th. Not going to make it in. Rob Evans just outside as well in 5th position, and the rest of the drivers on down. Put up a great fight here tonight in their respective heats and this LCQ, but going to now be just setting their sights on Daytona 500 weekend next week, and they'll be probably sitting in the stands up here watching the main event later on tonight here in the Season 6 Clash. Guys, it's been great having you up here in the booth. I know you guys probably a little fearsome, excited, probably a whole bunch of range of emotions with what we saw as you guys will be getting ready to buckle into your next-gen cars for the upcoming Clash, but it's been great having you up here in the booth.
I mean, it was a pleasure.
It was awesome to be up here. I can't wait to go do some more of these things if you have the chance.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Don't go anywhere because later on tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you'll see these two as well as 26 other drivers take to Bowman Gray once again for the main event, the Clash, to kick off Season 6 of the Duracell Cup Series. But if you guys enjoyed this broadcast here tonight, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today, and we'll see you guys later on this evening. For Ali Liera, Nick Gunther, I'm Seth Cole. We'll see you guys in just a little bit here as coverage of the Clash continues on the NNSCRA Sports Channel, offline racing at its best.